What's going on, guys? Ashley Victoria Langford, your credit solutionist and owner of PX Credit Solutions, where we help you secure your financial future today. Are you suffering from the Sunday Scaries tonight? You know that feeling. You had such a good weekend where you get, 2 days or 2.5 days if you start partying on Friday, right? 2.5 days to really be yourself, which is your weekend. You get to lay back, unbutton your shirt. You get to just relax and be yourself. You get to cook dinner for your family or your friends. You get to see everybody and just, uh, you know, uh, have some camaraderie for once, for one time out of the week. The weekends are so important. You get to stop and really live your life on your terms, right? So that's typically Friday night. You feel the relief of leaving work. Saturday, you feel total freedom, right? You can do what you want to do, hang loose, and just, run amok. But then Sunday comes. And it starts off real cool because you lay in the bed for maybe a little longer than you should, or you go to your house of worship, or, you go to your mom's house for like Sunday dinner and stuff like that. Sundays are cool. You're having fun. I mean, some of the best Sundays that I ever had was like partying the night before and then just laying in bed. Back when I used to play house, I used to lay in bed with my boyfriend and we would just be lazy, man, all day. Sundays were amazing. And then we'd wake up late and we'd maybe go get some breakfast. We always ate Mexican food on Sundays. And then we would go grocery shop, right? And then we'd come home and then like clockwork, the dread would set in. What kind of dread, you might ask? Well, it's called the Sunday Scaries. And what the Sunday Scaries are essentially when you have such a great weekend being yourself on Saturday, because really that's the only day we get to really chill. And then on Sunday, we're literally resting from the day before and then having to go and think about the week ahead. We have to now prepare for Monday. So is Sunday really ours? I don't know. I know as an entrepreneur and somebody that has to basically work every day, whether I'm coming on like this right now, talking to you guys, it doesn't matter if it's loosey goosey or it's a planned lesson that I have for you guys. Sundays still carry a semblance of anxiety, but I will tell you that the anxiety I feel on Sundays is more of an excitement. It's what am I going to do for the next 7 days or 6 days to get to my audience? How am I going to find those people that are suffering from the Sunday scaries and maybe Monday melancholy, as I would like to call it? We're going to talk about Mondays tomorrow too, but how do I reach you guys? And then how do I show you that, the thing is, you're always going to be maybe a little anxious about the week ahead, no matter if you work for yourself or if you work for another person. It's just a stressful time. A lot of it is because there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. You go from a really relaxed state on a Saturday to, now having to switch on almost to go dormant. The real you has to go dormant. And then you start thinking about going into Monday and having to turn on, right? For your boss, your employees, your peers, and your coworkers, and having to get up and, are you going to have coffee? Do you have enough time to make breakfast? Do you even have enough time to tell your kids that you love them? These are the things that you have to think about on a Sunday. And that's a bummer. But as an entrepreneur, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I have to kind of acknowledge that Sunday can be stressful because my client's Sunday is probably stressful. So I sometimes have to put myself in that mind frame just to feel those feelings again and try to empathize and feel it so I know what knowledge and what experience and what information to bring my clients the week ahead. So whether you're on the business side or the personal side or, the employee side, there's still going to always be a little bit of anxiety because we're all a little bit beholden to the Monday through Friday schedule, right? So how do you kind of get out of this? Well, there's a few ways, of course. As a business owner, I don't necessarily worry about Sundays too much. I worry about Sundays because I know my clients worry about Sundays. So I always put myself in the position of how would I help them or how would I want someone to help me if I knew 8 hours from now I have to wake up to go to a job that I maybe don't hate, but I'm not so happy with. Maybe I know at the end of this week, I'm going to get a paycheck that I wish was a lot larger, and I wish that I could get money on my own terms. I have to think about that. What would I want someone to tell me if I were in that position? So, one of the things I would tell somebody is that, well, to get money on your own terms and to be your own person, the very first thing you have to do is figure out how to pull in more income. We do that by starting our own small business. So, tonight's live stream is essentially brought to you by yours truly, the credit solutionist and the founder of Solutionist University. And I present to you the small business blueprint from daydream to dollars in 30 days. So if you're looking to not have the Sunday scaries or have your Sunday scaries be a little more like Sunday butterflies, this is going to be the course for you. I have 25 lessons in this course that show you how to take your daydream and turn it into an income producing venture that you can either use to, as a side hustle, you can use it as something to pivot you in your career. It's really something that's there for you to take it and take your life by the horns and then figure out what it is that you truly want to do. I have about between 75 and 100 business ideas that are in this course. And then I walk you through the A to Z steps on how to, go to your Secretary of State, start your business, what steps you need to take to get your business seen and to become someone that's on the radar to get business funding, which is then going to help you propel the business as you work your day job. So your Sunday scaries are honestly going to turn into Sunday sabbaticals, Sunday siestas, okay? And you're not going to feel that stress any longer. So I have the links in the description below for this, and that's all we're going to do as far as our advertising tonight, y'all. Also, if you want to become an affiliate, send me an email at thecreditsolutionist@gmail.com. That's thecreditsolutionist@gmail.com. thecreditsolutionist@gmail.com. If you want to become an affiliate, promote this course to your friends and family or your platform if you are a social media creator, and I will give you a cut. Yes, yes, yes. We have generous compensation packages. Okay. So be sure to email me, thecreditsolutionist@gmail.com. For every course that we sell, you get a cut. This course is not cheap. Now, it is cheaper than I'd like to sell it for, and the price will be going up probably at the beginning of Q4 of this year. The only time I'm going to put it on discount again is going to be probably for Black Friday or New Year's Eve. It's going to be something like that, or maybe Christmas. But the course itself is not going to change right now until another major holiday. Not Labor Day, okay? It's going to have to be sometime in November or December. But yes, become an affiliate, get paid to work with your girl, the credit solutionist. And really, it's not going to cost you anything other than telling somebody about the good news. That's it. You have to tell them about the course. And if they, use your code when they purchase, baby, that just gave you some residual income. As a matter of fact, that's a business idea in and of itself. You could literally become your own business owner or use this as a side hustle to make extra cash. And all you had to do was use word of mouth. Y'all, it cannot get any easier than that. Don't ever say I didn't get you anything, all right? Now, Sunday Scaries, I want to go back to that. So it is really scary out there when you think about just how many emotions are wrapped up in a Sunday. I started thinking about this because I wrote out this massive list of things that I wanted to do this week or this weekend, particularly today. Yesterday was really busy. Like I was just out and just doing stuff. I was in the sun and it was really hot. And when I got home, I just took a shower. A couple of people reached out to me on the phone and I was like, look, I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep. Like that's, I'm sorry. That's all I want to do today. And I just did that. I didn't work. I didn't do anything. But when I woke up today, I had this big to-do list and it was things that were, personal stuff. I had to run some things to Amazon for return. I had to go get my coffee. I had to dodge and duck and dive the panhandlers at the convenience store where I get my coffee in the morning. It was just a tough day. And then I came back and I realized I had to take care of my plants and all kinds of stuff, you guys. Of course, I'm venting right now. Okay. And thank you guys if you're still here. Come on in, like the video, take off your shoes, let me know what you're drinking. Let's all have this Sunday scary experience together. I got you. But yeah, like I had this big old list and it was like, man, okay, it's like 10 things. I had 10 things to do on this list. And I thought to myself, okay, I'll be able to get half of this done by 2:00. Once 2:00 came around, I had like 3 tasks complete, and that was it because some of them involved driving, right? I had to, like I said, I had to go return a package. I then had to go re-up on some of my makeup because, I mean, who wants to come on camera without like their makeup, right? And then also, what else did I do? Oh, I went to the grocery store because I buy water, bottled water. And all that kind of stuff. So I had to do water and get some fruits and veggies, things like that. Just basic errands. And by the time I got home, I had to start working on my plants because, I've neglected them this week. They are my children. And, I had to put my pothos with all these long vines. I had to, untangle her and put her on a trellis and all these interesting things. But it was very rewarding because after I did it, things were great. But before I knew it, it was 5:00 and I looked at my refrigerator where I have my little magnetic sticky notes. I recommend everybody get sticky notes. I had only accomplished like 4 of the 10 things. Now, these were good things. And I realized that, I put these things on my list because these were things that I kept putting off throughout the week. And I also had to admit to myself that the main reason that these items were there was because I chose not to work little by little throughout the week. And then I started thinking, well, why didn't I do little by little throughout the week? The main reason that I didn't do anything, little by little throughout the week was because I got lazy. I got complacent. I said, I've been using my brain all day. Maybe I don't want to pick that shirt up off the floor today on Tuesday. Maybe I don't want to do that, So then when you don't do that, things start to pile up, I made a personal vow to myself that no dishes in the sink at night, but then there's like a night or two where I'll have a plate, a cup, a couple of forks, and they just stay there in the sink. And I don't get to them until the next day. Now, I don't beat myself up about those kinds of things, but I'm just trying to share these like mundane stories with you guys to let you know that we all go through these little things, whether you live by yourself like I do, or you have a family to take care of. I literally just told you that I got 4 out of 10 things that I needed to get done today done. And actually live streaming is another one of those things. So I'm proud of myself that I came on and did this tonight. But I mean, if I could only get 4 out of 10 things done, I could imagine the demands on someone that actually has a family, amazing. But what you're going through tonight, feeling that little knot in the pit of your stomach, it's a mix of knowing that there is something greater for you out there. And it's also mixed in with the realization and the acceptance that you have to go into a job that you maybe aren't so crazy about. You don't necessarily hate it, but you're just not crazy about it. You know that you have to go into this job tomorrow and you're kind of bummed out about it. And I understand. And that's why we created the business course. But, tonight I want to spend some time relating to one another about this Sunday scary situation. Because that's what it is. That pit, that feeling in the pit of your stomach, that you got to be yourself and you know pursue your creative outlets and see your friends and your family on Saturday. Like, you got to do all that, but you only got one day to really do it and savor it. um the feeling that you have tonight is the disappointment or the sadness around the idea that you can't do that for more days of the week other than 1 or 2 days. And I think what adds insult to injury is that those 1 or 2 days of freedom that we get as workers is that we didn't even choose those days. Somebody else chose those days for us. They chose when we get to live our life, when we get to see our family, because they said, well, let's be real. That's the least your employer could do, is give you 2 days off, right? 2 days to breathe. But we all know that one day to really just chill, and then the next day to chill for the first half, and then the second half of that day, you got to re-up to get ready to go back in and make money for those people. That's a bummer. Your employer knows that too. Trust me, they know. They can relate to the Sunday Scaries. So I was listening to Ken Coleman today, who is by far becoming my favorite Ramsey Solutions personality. Is he still with them? Because I've been watching old videos and oh my God, I love him. He was in broadcasting and he started really late, like in his 30s. And I mean, what a story and what a guy. If I were to be a broadcaster, he'd definitely be somebody that I'd bring onto my show for sure. But I was watching Ken Coleman and he was talking about a phenomenon that kind of happens to us on a Sunday. And I'm going to talk about that tonight. But first, I wanted to talk about the Sunday Scaries, because this is really a thing. So it says, if Sunday afternoons or evenings are anything but easy, here are the 10 ways to make them better. Why would the Cleveland Clinic talk about the Sunday Scaries? This is how I know that this is something that's pretty dang serious. Now it says everybody's working for the weekend and it makes sense. 2 whole days to do what we want, and that freedom feels so good until Sunday night shows up. God, do I know what that feels like. As the last few hours of the weekend tick away, do you feel a little cheated because that short stretch of me time is over? Let's be real. Like, is it even me time? Because honestly, sometimes your Saturdays is filled with your friends and your family, your children. You barely get a moment to actually breathe. So if you said, yes, that's me, to this question in the article and anything that I said before we even started this, then you probably do have a case of the Sunday Scaries. So the Sunday Scaries, it says in this article, are the feelings of intense anxiety and dread that routinely occur every Sunday. They often start in the late afternoon and continue into the evening. However, depending on a person's level of anxiety, these feelings can start as soon as they get out of bed. Now, some people don't even get out of bed. I'm going to tell you that, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that because I have a feeling that some of the people watching, and I've been guilty of it too, are guilty of this next phenomenon that I'm going to talk about. But let's finish up with the Sunday Scaries. Now, this particular doctor, let's see where it is, Dr. Albers, she says that her clients often describe Sunday Scaries as a feeling in the pit or the bottom of their stomach that grows as Sunday progresses, or anxiety that haunts them throughout the day. Now, I am more apt to have the anxiety throughout the day, and then it gets stronger as the sun goes down. So the Sunday Scaries can snowball into physical manifestations like a racing heartbeat. And here are some examples here. A racing heartbeat, sweating, difficulty breathing, trembling. Okay, I've never been that bad, you guys. Upset stomach, absolutely. Trouble sleeping, for sure. headache, and in extreme cases, depression or a heart attack. I would venture to say that depression is not such a foreign or abnormal response or an extreme case. I think that a lot of people just have a lingering depression that, just kind of gets exacerbated on Sundays. Now, why scary Sundays and Sunday scaries are so common? It says that Sunday scaries are triggered by the end of the weekend approaching and anticipating our return to work. Now, Dr. Albers, says that when people start to make their to-do lists or contemplate upcoming responsibilities, the transition from relaxation to work mode can be a tough 180. And it also says here that they are fairly common. Most people have experienced them at one point or another. Remember, I said you feel it whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, side business owner, or employee. We all feel it because Monday on a global scale even represents the beginning of the work week, the beginning of commerce. It starts, it's a refresh. So everybody feels it on one level or another. It's like the world revamps and restarts, and we're all at the start line getting ready for the gunshot so we can run to the goal or the finish line that is that Friday, right? Now, the interesting thing about Sunday Scaries is that we all feel it, but for whatever reason, it's not a clinical diagnosis. I do, however, know that some people really struggle with this, so much so that they go into what we call a freeze response, right? Sunday scaries are real. And if you've ever felt them, let me know in the comments. And I will definitely hop into the comments at the end of the video. So I got y'all. And please, please, please stick with me, okay? Because I really want to get through this. And I'm going to try to end what I'm saying in like maybe 30 to 35 minutes or something. And then I'm going to jump in these comments. Don't forget to super chat. You could also send me a donation to the channel and become tonight's sponsor by sending your Cash App donations over to the Credit Solutionist, $ the Credit Solutionist for Cash App, or you could super chat in the video here on YouTube. If you're part of the replay gang, be sure to come through and go ahead and leave us a super thanks. That's also a way that you can thank us monetarily after the video renders if you are part of the replay gang. But let me know in the comments if you are a part of the replay gang. All right, I'll give you a special shout out on the next live stream. So yeah, y'all, Sunday scaries are common, but I want to talk about this interesting phenomenon that a lot of you all kind of go through, when it comes to this, because so many people, they go into this freeze response. That's what we were about to talk about. And I heard Ken Coleman talk about it because I got to give credit where credit is due. And because I can't show the video due to copywriting restrictions, I want to talk to you guys about something that I've done personally and I've made a vow to stop doing. But if you are caught in this behavior, please, please, please listen to what I'm saying objectively. Because if this is you, I want you to know it's a trauma response, but that you are not alone. So the phenomenon that I'm talking about is bed rotting. Now, this picture could literally be next to the definition for American in the Webster's dictionary. So let's talk about it. Bed rotting. I mean, it's a phenomenon where, you kind of wake up, you roll over, you get your phone off the charger, and as much as you want to start your day, you immediately start scrolling. I still struggle with this, you guys. Bed rotting is really a thing. No, we do not mean bedwetting or anything like that. It's literally bed rotting, okay? And apparently this has been something that was talked about as late or, as long ago as 2023. I totally didn't know that there was a name for this, but let's talk about it. So I found this article over at, looks like Charlie Health. And I want to talk about bed rotting because it is something that happens on Sunday, and it's what sort of contributes to that anxiety that you have that gives you the Sunday scaries. So As bed rotting continues to rise in popularity, the article says, it's important to understand why we do it and when the behavior is a red flag. Now, I am one that actually says that it is always a red flag, but you may feel a little bit different. I will tell you that as a small business owner, you cannot really bed rot for too many hours at a time. Main reason is because you're always going to have to answer to somebody at some time during the day. So bed rotting isn't something that you can actually do for long stretches of time, like somebody that just has standard employment. It's really interesting because a lot of people spend their Sundays technically bed rotting. Now, I don't want you to try to say, oh, well, you know what, Victoria? No, sometimes I actually get up and I get out of bed. I get out of bed, I go eat breakfast, and then I sit on the couch. Okay. All right, you're not in your bed. I'm just going to call it home rotting then. Okay. But it's the same thing. Scrolling or watching movies in your bed is no different than scrolling or watching them in your living room on your couch. Okay. So let's not grasp at straws here. Bed rotting is bed rotting. So the article says life is hard, but lying in bed doing absolutely nothing is easy. If all you feel like doing in your free time these days is getting under the covers and binge watching shows or scrolling social media for hours on end, you're definitely not the only one. Enter bed rotting. So, what is bed rotting and why are people doing it? Now, you know, this is a TikTok trend. Y'all, TikTok is honestly like the best way for you to keep your pulse on what is going on in the American psyche. I don't necessarily think it's what's going on in society, but you can learn a lot about the American psyche by going on to TikTok because I didn't know this was a thing until I went there. Now, bed rotting involves staying in bed alone, doing things that require little to no effort for long periods of time. It's not just taking a quick 15-minute TikTok scroll, it's spending hours, even all day, isolated and sedentary. Bed rotting is when someone makes a conscious choice to be alone in their bed rather than participating in an activity that requires more effort, socialization, or energy, says licensed mental health counselor Nicole Maselli. So they say here in the chaotic day and age, people may engage in bed rotting because it's a welcome escape from the real world and any difficult emotions that they may be having. So they're saying that it may essentially just feel more comfortable to zone out. And because it's become such a phenomenon that everyone has talked about it, or there's at least enough traction for it to be popular on TikTok and now, you know, on national news platforms, it really means that there is a collective trauma, right? And it's no mistake that a lot of people have this trauma and that they don't want to face the day ahead. You know, this is why Sundays are so stressful. And this is why, you know, Mondays happen to be the worst day of the week for a lot of people. But conversely, they're the most productive. Like, how does that even work? Like, it's crazy, right? It's a lot to take in and a lot to process. So I could understand the trauma making you want to bed rot. So it says when we feel unsafe from conditions in our personal lives as well as conditions in society, our body perceives this as a threat. Much like if we were in physical danger and goes into a trauma or stress response, fight, flight, or freeze, Maselli explains. Bed rotting can be seen as a freeze response in which people are feeling unsafe and perhaps on a conscious level and unconscious level, they're choosing the safety of their bed. I've totally done this before. And it's crazy because your bed is kind of a tricky place. I get a lot of ideas when I'm in bed. I also zone out. I'm able to relax in bed. You know, I have a special way that I like my bed to be. I like my beds to be high, right? I like to climb into bed, right? I don't like the low sitting beds that people use. God forbid I have a mattress on the floor. Good God. But no, I like a big bed with a pillow top on the mattress. You know, mattress protector, of course, but I like Egyptian cotton sheets. I like satin pillowcases. And I like to have a soft material on my skin in the bed. So I have a chenille blanket, and then I also have a down comforter that I put on top of it. And my bed is neutral whites. I like light, serene colors in my bedroom. So I like my bed to be a certain way, which means that I like to stay in it. I mean, I built it to perfection so I could stay in it, you know? And it's a very tranquil place, the decoration and everything. I love my bedroom. It's my favorite room in my apartment. And my other bedroom is the one I'm sitting in right now, where I record these videos for you guys. But I love my bed. Now I purposely don't put a TV in my bedroom because I don't want to veg out all day. Could you imagine if I had a TV mounted right in front of my bed? You know, big old king size bed and these great covers, and like it's so comfortable. And I like a lot of pillows. My plants, and I have some vines all around. Oh God, it's great. Fairy lights, you guys. My bedroom, yes. um, but it's my sanctuary in no uncertain terms. And of course, we have an ensuite over there. So yeah, if I didn't want to do anything, I could stay in my bedroom all day, call some Uber Eats or something, and only have to come outside to go get my food and just lay in my bed and just eat some pad thai, right? Oh, that's so good. But where do you draw the line? Like, where is it just me having a relaxed day, kicking up my feet in bed all day and eating good food and taking a nap every couple of hours and scrolling social media? When does that become a vacation day, or when does it become a trauma response? How do you know the difference? Well, you know the difference when you do it all day. And you also know the difference when in your mind, you're doing it to disassociate and try not to think about the next day ahead, which is Monday. Now, because it's such an easy escape from trauma, as the article says here, emotions, responsibilities, and and all that stuff, bed rotting is seldom a one-off occurrence. So now we're going to talk about the difference. And if you've ever bed rotted, I know it's probably embarrassing to say, but tell us in the comments if you've actually ever done it before, because I totally have. Now it says that it's not a one-off occurrence. This is how we start to identify the differences. It can quickly become a habit if you fall into it, if you're not really mindful of your behavior. Now, it says Gen Zers might be the most open about their inclination to bed rot. Now, this I think is because Gen Z has no shame, right? At least with millennials, we kind of still have a little baby boomer and a little Gen X in us. We're a mixture of both with a little bit of angstiness and brattiness. That's kind of what we are. We are Gen X's little brothers and sisters because we are children of boomers. So we're an amalgamation of all those things. But we're not as likely to do it. Or if we do it, we still have a level of shame around bed rotting, where Gen Z will just say, yo, I don't shower. I lay in bed. You lucky if you could get me to I don't know, wash my butt or wash my legs today, because a lot of people don't wash their legs apparently. But Gen Z has a lot less shame. So yeah, if millennials are doing it, we're a little ashamed about that. We don't tell the world. But yeah, laying in bed every day, or laying in bed every day after work instead of maybe working on something productive, that is still bed rotting. Laying in the bed hours before you actually go to sleep on a nightly basis, that is bed rotting. Okay. Now, bed rotting can be appealing to some people of all ages and can sometimes cause more harm than good. So is bed rotting a form of self-care? If you think it is, I guess, and if you're here, I haven't looked at the chat, but leave a 1 in the chat if you think that bed rotting is self-care. They say it's important because if you have mental health struggles, it could help out. And it says that rest is really important. But here's where I kind of don't agree with that. Because when does rest become laziness, right? Like there's a threshold. So I feel conflicted with this article, and I almost feel like it was written by Gen Z. I really do. Gen Z slash Gen Alpha, whatever the heck they're supposed to be now. I really feel like it was written by one of those people. And I'm only covering this tonight because I want you to think about it. Like, is this something that's part of your Sunday night repertoire or daily or nightly repertoire that you need to take a closer look at this week? Think about it. And before we leave, I want to give you like five ways to prepare for your Monday. If you have the Sunday Scaries and if you're actually bed rotting while watching me, or if you bed rotted at some point today. Now, let's say you got out and took a jog around the neighborhood, or you went to the grocery store, or you did something productive. Those are productive things. You saw your family. Even if you saw your sneaky link, I'll give you that, okay? If you got out of the house, if the sun hit your face today and you felt the warmth radiate all the way from your head to your toe, that good feeling when the sun hits you and it's just mwah, chef's kiss, If you got out of the house and that happened, then maybe we're not talking about you. You didn't bed rot, okay? It's okay if you need a little break from socializing with your peers and your family, right? Because I needed that when I was back home, right? But I'll admit, when I first got to Virginia, I may or may not have bed rotted a couple of times, okay? And I found myself doing it a bit much to where I got concerned. So it literally says here, are there any concerns around bed rotting? and I'll admit, it's also hard to tell if you're bed rotting because if you live alone, there's nobody there to check you. Then nobody's going to tell you, hey, something's wrong with you. Because I could talk to you on the phone and not realize that you've been laying in the bed the entire time, right? And actually, let's go into a personal, well, actually, let's talk about the concerns, and then I'll go into a personal story about bed rotting. So yes, absolutely, there are concerns. Okay, you guys, that's what the article says. There are concerns because it's not normal. When you choose to bed rot, you're choosing to isolate yourself from others, whether it's your family, your friends. And it says isolation, particularly a lot of it, can lead to an increased risk of anxiety and depression. And getting used to spending so much time alone could make you nervous at the thought of social plans and lead you to avoid them. You see that, guys? Thus creating more bed rotting. It's insane. This is nuts. So research has also found a link between physical activity and mood changes or depression. So just because you're laying in the bed and you're stimulating your mind by social media or maybe watching a movie or something like that, well, it could still affect you, all around, physically and mentally. If you lay down all the time, your muscles actually will start to atrophy. That's kind of how Pilates was created, because people that had muscle atrophy and couldn't get out of bed had to actually do Pilates. That's how the discipline was actually invented. Now, social media is a big way that we do this, right? We want to zone out, not think about Monday, so we start vegging out on Sunday. It says that social media gives you easy hits of dopamine, which is another feel-good hormone that's linked to your brain's reward system. So when you're getting dopamine fixes from your social media, you may rely on this as your main source of dopamine rather than healthier methods. Like I said, getting out, getting your vitamin D, feeling the sun on your skin. Now, it also says that another risk of bed rotting is that because it's normalized and effortless, you can become dependent on the habit. Now, I remember one point in my life where I did this, and I noticed that when I bed rotted, my money started to go and dwindle as well. So there's a reason that I'm sharing this with you, because if you find yourself in this kind of behavior, I want to put a spotlight on it so you, whether in the comfort of your own home or if you want to, come on the live and talk to me about it tonight, that's okay. We can chat about it. You don't have to show your face. But, if it's something that you're guilty of, it's okay to say it. The first step to changing is to admit that you may have a problem with this. God, I feel like I'm talking to people with substance abuse issues, but seriously, this could be an issue, and it is effortless. Especially those of us that have moved to a place where maybe we don't know anybody, right? Because with me being across the country, not knowing anybody, do you know how easy it is to bed rot? Like how easy I could just wake up every day and just lay there and not do anything, seriously. And if you don't watch it, you can get to the point where you're using the bed as your only option to cope with difficulties, despite having availability to plenty of other coping skills. That is what is in this article. So there's an undeniable link between excessive bed rotting and mental health. You guys, it's not normal, right? And really think about it. In the time that you're doing your bed rotting exercises, which aren't really exercises, you could be brainstorming about a business. Like today, I woke up at about like 7, I think it was like a little after 7 a.m. And I woke up feeling so refreshed. And I don't know why, because I slept quite a bit yesterday, Saturday, but I woke up refreshed and with a new lease on life. I immediately wrote down my to-do list, and then I said, okay, this is what we're doing today. And if I get all of it done, I will get the gold star. If I don't get, even half of it done, I will still pat myself on the back. But what I will not do today is I will not lay in bed. Right? And another, like I talked about the other day, another thing is me keeping myself accountable to you guys and coming on and talking to you, doing these live streams, and that's part of me pushing myself to keep creating, keep promoting, because the more you're awake, the earlier you get up. If you have more of a routine that you keep 7 days a week, not just 5, 7 days a week, then on days like today, where you would have the Sunday scaries, you actually find yourself feeling motivated and happy. Like I was happy that I could sit and like carve time out of my schedule to get up and talk to you guys today. Like I said, I ran my errands today. I got some flowers for my grandma's altar that I have here in my place, and I fixed my plants. I watered them. I did laundry. I came up with a couple of days worth of content here that I'm going to bring to you guys this week. And another thing that I did was, I came up with the 5 ways to prepare for Monday. So I'm going to go ahead and read the comments first, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump into the 5 ways to prepare for Monday and get rid of these damn Sunday scaries. So let me take a look really quick and see what you guys are saying in the chat. Give me 2 seconds to pull it up here. And I think I will be right back with you guys, but hold on, let's see. Once again, if you're coming in, don't forget to like the stream, and also become a member over at our free Facebook group, the Credit Pro Academy. And that is Credit Pro Academy 1. That's Credit Pro Academy and the number 1 over at facebook.com. That's a totally free group, and we do not solicit at all. We do not sell your information. I don't even know if I have it set up to ask for your email, but we don't sell any of that stuff. Please don't come in there and spam. Like, we will totally kick you out. I monitor every comment, every post that goes in there. And y'all, I'll just dismiss you. I'll just deny it and ban you from the group. Okay. So if you find the group, it asks you a couple of questions, and then you click whatever, and then you join. Okay. And you can ask me anything. It doesn't just have to be credit or debt related, but as long as it's related to you becoming the better or the most great version of yourself or self-improvement, I'm okay with that. Ask your questions, but give me a sec. I'm going to check the chat, and then I will be right back with you guys. But Credit Pro Academy number 1. Okay. Okay, guys, I am totally back. Let me know if the audio is still good. You guys are super quiet tonight, but I got to give props to my homie Ray Gunn. I had your super chat up there at the beginning of the live stream, and thank you so much. You are officially the channel and the the show sponsor for tonight. I see you guys trickling in. It's like been one or two of y'all, three, four, five, six. We already talked about it on Friday. As long as you're here, that's all that matters to me. So, Ray Gunn, thank you so much for your super chat. Also, thank you for super chatting, I think like 3 or 4 live streams ago, where, just showing love. You know what I mean? Great meeting you in Atlanta a few months ago. Totally cool. I hope to see you again in another couple of weeks. But let's talk about the other comments here because everybody was quiet. Samri Bliss, I'm guessing on the number of people in the chat, you're probably not here anymore. But hey, I want to say, hey, girl, hey, but I don't know. It's a fairy. I love fairies. I don't know, man, woman. I'm assuming you're a girl. Hey, Samri girl. And then, of course, guys, we have the link here for the Facebook group that I talked about before the little break there. Join. Okay. I don't care. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. It's a safe space for you to come in and commiserate. It's your direct link to me because to pay to get my undivided attention, it is not cheap. Okay. But if you still want to get my insight along with others that have the same goals as you're on the same frequency as these people, go over to the Facebook group. Okay. I think I might have it pulled up here. Hold on. Let me see. If I could let you guys know, because it is a small group. I'm not going to front like it's a massive group. So let me show you guys, because like sometimes you have to show your audience what is actually there for them to believe you that it actually exists. Okay. But yeah, it exists. I think, let me see if I can share it here. Yeah, so that's the Credit Pro Academy, you guys. That's it right there. You see it's a small group. It's got 268 members. You do, again, have to request to get in. So I always ask you, what are your credit goals? I check in with you. I do all kinds of stuff to stay engaged with you. I run this page. As we get bigger, of course, I'm going to have people come in and start to moderate. But you guys, I don't ever want you guys to say, ignore those people. I don't want you hitting on my friends and stuff, but there's stuff in this group where you come in, we check in with you every single week and you can ask questions. Okay. Like y'all already know I'm very approachable. Talk to me. Okay. And then we have a new name in the house, Mosman. Hey there. Hi, hi, hi. Nice to see you. And I hope you're having a great night or morning, wherever you're located in the world. You are blessed for your message. Thank you. I agree with that. I am blessed for my message of prosperity. I receive that. And I hope that everybody else here feels that tonight. So we talked about bed rotting and we talked about, just having anxiety about Monday. And I feel you guys, but what I did today was I made sure I got everything done that mattered to me today. And the very last thing that I wanted to do was come and talk to you all because I experience and relate to that anxiety. I really do. A lot of you are probably asleep. That's why I didn't get too many people on this live stream, but that's okay. So before we close out, I want to talk about the 5 ways to prepare for Monday. If you're awake right now and you have to be at work at 8 tomorrow, listen, I know you're listening to me for a reason. And the couple of you that I'm reaching tonight, let's talk about these 5 ways. Grab a pen and paper because I want you to be able to follow these principles. And if you're part of the replay gang, be sure to leave the word replay in the comments when the video renders. So 5 ways to prepare for Monday. This is going to be different for some of you. You may not be used to writing down your goals for the week, even something down to brushing your teeth. I have had to get myself in order so much so that I had to write down mundane tasks like that. I literally used to write lists where I would say, wake up, drink water, laundry, shower, shave legs, paint nails, wash hair. I would have literally lists like that. So what I'm talking about is real. I understand this is the internet and a lot of people are not in a space where they want to come on and divulge their life, but I will divulge these things to you because in leadership roles, that's what you have to do. I help you all and I show you that I've already been there and I still continuously struggle with these things. So if I can struggle with having to write down shave your legs on a list so I can do it every day, you and I are not that different. The only difference is I come on and show my face and talk about these struggles that I've had. So imagine somebody that has to remind themselves to shave their legs, started a business, started a YouTube channel, and does not have a fearful bone in their body to come on here and talk to you. So, Mondays, let's get back to that. Y'all know I go off on tangents. I apologize. Now, Mondays are intimidating. In the live stream earlier, I mentioned how they're also the most productive days. And I want you to have a productive day. That's why you're here. So these are the 5 tips that I'm going to give you to prepare for a better Monday. Number 1, let me actually type it in here. Number 1, because I want it to show on the screen. I didn't do a slideshow for you guys today. So number 1 is take inventory of what needs to be done and make a list. Okay? I'm going to put it there. Number 1, take inventory of what needs to be done and make a list. I don't care if it's something as mundane as pluck my eyebrows, wax my upper lip, schedule a colonoscopy for October. However mundane it is, just get it done. This is going to take inner strength. It's not just watch this video and then forget about it when you go to sleep. You probably need to replay this video in your sleep because subconsciously it does work when you listen to things as you sleep. More on that another video. But yes, write down the tasks from just anything that flows into your head. Just write it down. Nobody says you have to get it done on Monday, but what I am saying is that you have to go back. You have to make a pledge to yourself to go back to those things on the list. Even if, I'll give you one better, even if on this list, at some point during this live, you thought, I'm going to join her Facebook group, or I'm going to book her call so I can just talk to her and vent. Even if you thought about that and you're not ready to pull the trigger tonight, write it down. I want you to write it down. I don't care if you go back to it or not, write it down. Okay. If you thought about scheduling a therapist, do it. Okay. So that is it. Take an inventory of what needs to be done. Do we need to focus on our mental health this week? Focus on business ideas, brainstorming business ideas, calling your mom, mailing your friend that birthday card, telling somebody congratulations on a promotion, write it down. Okay. And make a list. If you have a goal to sit and talk with your boss this week about your raise, do it. A list is as simple as, again, sitting down, grabbing a piece of scratch paper and just free falling, just brainstorm. Okay. So that's the number 1 thing. Take an inventory and write stuff down, whether it's family, work, personal. If there's crucial conversations you need to have, go ahead and have those conversations. So here's number 2. I probably, look, I can't type worth nothing, y'all. Now I can count, but I can't type. So hold on. Let me, I'm typing it up here, and apparently I can't spell the word prioritize. So until I get my mind right, I guess Google's going to tell me that I didn't spell it right. Okay. And this is all just, I'm paraphrasing, but prioritize the next 5 days to 7 days. Whatever makes the biggest impact has to go first. Bop, bop, bop. I was typing in front of somebody this week and they had the nerve to clown the crap out of me because I was typing. And then, when you're typing and somebody looks at you, you get a little nervous, and they kind of made a little dorky joke, like, ho, 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 you're an auditor, huh? People be peopling. I could have slapped that girl upside her head. All right. So anyway, here's another comment in between before I show number 2. It takes strength to recognize what needs to be done. You dare to be, yes, you do dare to be courageous. Thank you so much, Mosman. That's absolutely true. It's going to take people a while to make the connection of why I'm coming on here super woo woo now, and or taking this mental health approach to finances. It's going to take some people a minute to connect those dots, and that's okay, because it took me 5 years to make the connection and connect the dots. It's okay. But when you pay attention, when you start to, go down that courageous path that Mosman here is talking about, you recognize that you are building strength. The more you're able to open your eyes and see, okay, well, I got into debt and I'm avoiding collectors, and I'm only working to pay my bills. I'm not even working towards my future. I'm not even really enjoying my current. When you realize that those things are happening, then you start to open your eyes to the fact that it is a mental thing. It takes tenacity and mental strength and fortitude to be able to admit, oh, it's not because bill collectors are evil and the love of money is evil. That's not why. It's not the economy. That's not the reason my credit sucks, because the economy is going to do what it does, right? An investor is going to continue to put money into banks, and then the bank turns that into credit limits for you. And then they're going to continue to sell those banking products to you in the form of credit cards, personal loans, mortgages. They're going to sell those things to you because everybody out here has to make money. Okay? But there's a mental health component to it too, because everything I just told you, oh, there's investors that are actually investing in the credit limits that you have. That is somebody's cash money. And by you paying interest to those credit cards, you are paying like dividends to them. They're basically getting a return on their investment with every credit card payment that you make. It doesn't matter if you pay it before the bill close date or not. The fact is, somebody gave you money out of their pocket, an investor, not just the bank. The bank is a pass through. It's a person that gave you that money, right? That person's getting a return on your investment. I hope I'm preaching to the choir here. Anyway, you need to understand, to know that and then willingly do it with 36% interest is insane. So really think about that the next time you get a credit card. So anyway, let me go back to number 2. Prioritize whatever makes the biggest impact has to go first. So when it comes to getting prepared for your Monday, you have to really take an account of everything that you brainstormed on that piece of paper and recognize that whatever is the biggest amount has to go first. That's the first thing that you need to conquer for that week, because the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So I would dare to say, let's say you have a bill that's due and you maybe need to call the creditor to get things squared away. To me, that's more important than watching, what is that thing everybody watches now? Bridgerton, whatever. I'm sorry, calling your bank is probably more important than that. So you need to go ahead and prioritize things and do the hard stuff first. You can kind of make it easy by, hold on, y'all, I'm putting number 3 in here too. You could probably make it easier by doing something important. Like, say you have 3 things on your list that are high priority, code red. Okay, do one on Monday, do one on Tuesday, do one on Wednesday. You can go ahead and ration it out all through the week. Just make sure that it gets done, because it's not about even having an accountability partner to get ready for this Monday and this week coming up to get things done. This is about you keeping you accountable. That's why you're going to write that list out. All right, so I'm going to type up number 3. One thing, I'm trying to think of what I have this week that I could tell y'all about to keep myself accountable now that I say it out loud. So I'm going to be over at Solutionist University. Let me see if I can share it. I don't know if I can share it. Let me see. What I'm going to do at Solutionist University, it's going to take too many clicks for me to share my screen with y'all, but I'm going to put some free courses up there. I know I'm going to do one on secure credit, and then I'm going to do another, I think, on just like the basics of credit. But I'm going to put like 2 free courses up there. But by this time next, maybe Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to have a free course over at the Solutionist University, because I know what time it is and I understand money's tight, and people people aren't ready to like spend a ton of money. I get that. But like I said, the fact is you're here. I keep showing up for you. So eventually I know for sure you will show up for me. And most importantly, you will show up for yourself. I'm actually typing, so I probably sound a little distracted right now, but it is what it is. All right, so coming up on number 3, this is the third way that you get prepared. Yo, hey Alonso, salute. You should be asleep because I feel like you got somewhere to go in the morning. But I appreciate you being here. Listen, you could go to sleep, but here's what I want you to do, Alonso. I want you to keep your phone open on my channel on this video so I can get credit for the view, okay? If you're going to go to sleep. Don't click off if you're going to go to sleep. Just turn the phone down, keep my video on, and put the phone on your nightstand, okay? Because I got to get the view. Oh my God. Okay, let me get number 3 up here. Let me make sure it's making sense before I put it up on the screen. But just to recap, number 2 is, make your list first, and then whatever that list is, prioritize whatever makes the biggest impact on your life. All right. So number 3, schedule out the time. This is a really important one. Scheduling out the time. A lot of reason people have anxiety on Sunday is because you have not taken this step either. The reason you feel overwhelmed on a Sunday while you're laying down and you every now and then you get that thought like, damn, I got to go to work tomorrow. Ugh. And you get immediately disappointed. Some of that will subside if you follow these 5 steps. Schedule out the time. So you already made a list of your priorities for the week coming up. You've already said, okay, I'm going to do one important thing every single day because we're not going to bog ourselves down by making 5 important, stressful phone calls on a Monday. Don't do that. But once you do make your list and you schedule everything out, then you have to take time to look at your life on paper and then figure out how much time do I need for each one of these things. If you have to make a call to the bank because you have 5 overdraft fees from this week from when your landlord took out your rent payment plus the late fee, and now every other little auto payment you have is bouncing back or the bank is paying it and charging you that overdraft fee, if you got to call the bank, make an appointment in your little book and say, okay, on my lunch break today is Tuesday. On my lunch break, I'm going to take that time. I'm going to have to eat in my car and I'm going to have to call Chase or call Truist, Bank of America, and I'm going to have to ask them to waive those overdraft fees. Make time in your schedule to do stuff like that. Make time to research your company this week. If you're unhappy with your company, but you have to stay there, it's time for you to find little, what would I call it? Like little, I'd be at a loss for words half the time. That's why I got to keep coming on because my brain just be going dead when it comes to words, But like you have to find a perk, find the perks in your business or in your company that you work for and start to take advantage of those. You might, I don't know, make God, guys, while you're sitting at your desk, go to the company's website and see what perks they offer. If they have tuition reimbursement, if they have an FSA or HSA, what's their contribution match like for your 401k? Are they a publicly traded company? These are things you could be researching. Put that on your list this week. How can I have my employer benefit my life beyond my paycheck? Parse out some time in your life this week to do that. Because I bet the company you work for has some kind of benefit that's going to pivot you out of that place and you'll still be able to have a return. I guarantee your job has that. You just haven't looked into it. You know how many people this week I talked to, or even this year I talked to about starting an FSA or HSA? It seems so insignificant, but you should write that down this week. See if your company has it. Because if you're not getting it taken out of your paycheck now, I bet you your company offers it. So what that does, again, I'll just briefly explain it, but you literally get tax-free money that comes out of your check onto like a debit card or into a savings account. And anytime you have a medical situation, a copay, you got to pay for medicine, you need to buy tampons if you're a lady, aspirin, bandages, all kind of stuff, needles if you're a diabetic. The money you put in that account, you could pay for that with your HSA, FSA. You need to put that on your list this week, y'all. I'm not going to beat that into y'all's head because I know I'm going in the weeds, but put something like that on your list. I have a job, I hate it. Let me go ahead and see in what ways they could benefit my life, in what ways they could benefit my bottom line. Okay. So with this list, schedule out the time to do it. Schedule out time this week to talk to your superior or higher up to talk about advancement opportunities, educational opportunities, opportunities to shadow a coworker, opportunities to audit another part of the company and sit in and see how things are done, right? These are things that you could do. You can also parse out some time to talk to your team, your teammates, just to connect with everybody, because that works too. Schedule out the time. If you're sitting on a Sunday and you already have Monday through Thursday or Friday already written out in time blocks, you're going to feel so much less stressed on Monday because you'll already wake up knowing exactly what to do with the checklist every day. This is going to be hard. And I'll rewind because some of y'all that are in here right now probably didn't hear what I said before. I'm so bad. I have to write lists that remind me to shave my legs. Okay. That is how distracted I become sometimes. I have to remind myself to do mundane tasks. Okay. So you are not alone. Write it down. It doesn't make you weird. Okay. So that's number 3. And hey, Still Rocks. Listen, I love that y'all are in here late. Still Rocks, I don't know if you're East Coast like me, but it's late over here. It's actually, now it is Monday. So I got to get prepared for my Monday live stream too. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, Still Rocks. I appreciate you. So number 4, to get rid of your anxiety and get prepared for Monday and get away from the Sunday scaries, let's talk about let's see. Number 4. This one is going to probably ruffle a couple of feathers in the room, but just hear me out. Thank you so much, Still Rocks. That yes, the time, you have to time block down to detail. And I want to talk about the importance of that. Like, you have so much paper around, so much, like you could just write stuff down and get your life in order, get it organized. Listen, it is going to feel awkward. Like I said, you just have to do it. If you even have to write down, brush your teeth, brush my teeth, floss my teeth, you listen, this is your life. Either you're going to get some structure or not. Everything is connected. Y'all. Anyway, y'all ain't gonna believe me till I go to school. It's cool. Till I go to school and I come up here with a PhD, then you'll believe me that mental health is closely connected to how your financial life looks. But whatever, dude, it's fine. Okay, number 4, how to get better prepared for Monday. Delegate. Remember, I said figure out your tasks for this week. Write a list. Prioritize and then delegate. So delegate the responsibilities on your list if necessary. What does this look like? It looks like if you come home every day and I say to you on our consultation from at mycreditcall.com, when we sit and we talk about your debt strategies, how to overcome your debt, when you and I are talking on the phone about that, and I say, okay, well, I see you spend $300 on groceries and you live alone. Is there any way that you could maybe not buy so much food and just buy maybe pre-prepared meals? Could you do something like that? Could you stop taking so much time to stop what you're doing and cook and do all this other stuff? Could you just cut that out by having pre-made meals, or could you meal prep on Sundays? Delegate these things, right? You have to delegate things out. If certain parts of your life take a lot of your time, pay somebody to do it. Okay? If you need the house clean, you got kids, hey, have your kids clean the house. Have them clean the house and pay them $1 or two. I don't know what rate kids are charging now. Probably $20 plus, I'm assuming. Anyway, I don't know if kids still do chores or what, but delegate. If it's hard to clean the house, look, you're going to have to probably take 50 or $60 and look online and pay somebody to come and clean your house once a week. And then you just do the follow-up during the week. You know, if you have a big project at work and you need other people's help, I understand you want all of the credit for doing that project, but it's okay to have your coworkers pitch in. It's okay. You got to delegate. Okay, you got to delegate. Like something that I was told to do this week. I do my own nails because I feel like it's a stress buster for me. But you know what? The last time I did my nails, I timed it. I timed how long it took me to do my nails. And you know what? It takes way longer for me to do my nails than it does to drive a block away to the nail shop or maybe walk because it's only a block. And then have the nice lady there do my nails. I'm supporting small business. I'm supporting local business. Why don't I just do that? And I can save myself 2 hours of my time by delegating that chore for the week. Let's start to really think outside the box here. You're paying for convenience, and convenience saves you time. Okay? And you're not as stressed on a Sunday thinking about the daunting week ahead because you've already delegated some of your tasks to someone else. So now you have more time to just release and relax and be you, and then come up with those business ideas or create your exit strategy to pivot into your next position from your current job. You won't feel that anxiety anymore. Okay, so that's number 4. It's okay to delegate. Don't feel bad about that. Don't feel bad about that. Sunday is my favorite day because it's the first day of the week. Mosman, I'm assuming if it is the first day of the week for you, that's not traditionally an American thing. So I'm assuming you may be from a different country. But I agree with you. Sunday is the beginning of the week. It's the beginning of the week for me as well. Still Rocks, thank you so much for your comments here and your participation. You know, I always appreciate you. Leave him a part-time early to focus on the main job in the morning. Got you. So see, that's somebody right there that probably it probably took Still Rocks a little bit of time to adjust to having a part-time and a full-time job. But once you get into the swing of it and you get yourself a little flow going, it's very rewarding when you're able to balance, because if you can have a part-time, full-time, it helps you actually learn how to structure the rest of your life that much better. That much better. When I have more, like multiple things to do, I always find that as long as one thing is kind of constant, then I can always figure out how to fit other things in. So that's really good. And getting a part-time job, maybe that's on your list this week. Now, with your part-time job, I kind of have 2 recommendations. I'm going to say them and then I'm going to move on. If you are thinking about getting a part-time job, I want you to consider why you're getting that part-time job. Is it to have more money, or is it to pursue a creative outlet or to socialize? Like if you work from home, I recommend everybody that works from home get a part-time job that is out in the public. Working from home is very isolating, and you start to lose your social muscle starts to atrophy, and you lose a lot of your ability to actually relate to people. So if you do work from home and your work is not as strenuous, get a part-time job outside. You know, especially if you have debt, you need to do that anyway. But Work with the public as long as you can. I like the public, so I don't mind doing stuff like that. But anyway, I definitely am okay with that. So do some research on getting another part-time job this week, you guys, if you're in debt and you need to pay some things off. Steven Chapman. The name looks really familiar. I almost feel like I know you in person, but I think I just knew a Steven Chapman from like years ago. So thank you for your education and motivation. You're speaking facts. Last month, I just started asking my daughter every night what her goals are for the next day. OMG. You have no idea how important that comment actually is. When I was a kid, the only times people asked me what I wanted to do was like for little school projects and stuff where, the teacher would say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" or something like that. And I'd be like, "Yeah, well, I want to be a doctor." Blah, blah, blah. You say the normal things people think. Little did I know what I really wanted to do. I want to be a leader. Absolutely. I feel like I am a leader, but I want to touch the lives of people. Of course, as a 6-year-old, I didn't have the words to say that, but that's really what I want to do. And it's awesome that I'm doing it now. But I do think those are the things that you should be doing. And I'll do you one better, Stephen. When you're young, it's so important to, I'll speak to the adults. Speak to the young people in your life like Steven Chapman is speaking to his daughter. His daughter may not fully understand what he's asking her today, but when she's 18, 19, 20, 21, 35, 45, she's going to look back on that and remember her dad asked her, "What are your goals? What do you want to be?" Because he kept that muscle in her strong. He kept strengthening it every day. Though she didn't understand what he was asking her, she understands now. There's an expectation. There is someone in my life that cares about me, that wants me to have direction. So now I do have to have structure. Now I do have to create a plan, right? This is what it does for these young people. And then it helps them to start to expand and think about the potential that they have. This all ties into getting rid of the Sunday Scaries, you guys, because if you're always on task, looking at the list that you created, which was number 3 or number 4 on this list, look at the list, keep yourself accountable, adjust your goals as you go forward, and keep yourself accountable. Stephen is keeping his daughter accountable, and he's keeping himself accountable too, right? He makes it a conscious effort to go in and ask her, because clearly it does something for him too. It helps everybody that's involved. Now, if you don't have someone like Stephen in your life and you don't have a mentor or a parent or a friend, that is why I'm giving you the 5 ways to prepare for your Monday and get rid of your Sunday Scaries. These 5 things are not only for you to get prepared to go work at a job tomorrow and be less stressed. It's a blueprint for your life. It's a blueprint for every part of your life, even down to your nutrition. If you, some of y'all are going to start a diet tomorrow and you have the Sunday Scaries because of that. This list can be applied to your nutrition for this week. Write down the things you want to eat, the things you want to accomplish, the walks you want to take, the exercise you want to do. Write it down. If you have to delegate other tasks in your life to other people so you can squeeze those things in for your nutrition and your health, do it. Like I said, if you can't find a way to cook healthy food for yourself, then guess what? You probably need to go get Factor. This is not a sponsored video, but go get Factor and they'll do the meal prep for you. It's like $50-$60. Boom, there it is. Make a list. Keep yourself accountable. Just because you don't have a support network, and thank you, Stephen, because you really gave me something to kind of pivot off of right now. Just because you do not have a support system, you may not have a Stephen Chapman in your life. So what? You got to keep yourself accountable then, and that's going to make it even better. Because at that point, you know what you need to do, and nobody else is going to be able to come in and make you deviate from your plan. If you have it all written out and structured for the week, money, health, finance, love, social, networking, whatever it is, work, school, it won't matter because your list is already set up. Okay, you got to follow your list. You're going to go in Monday and follow somebody else's list. Why not follow one of your own too? So if you don't have somebody like Steven is for his daughter, be that for yourself. Parent yourself. Learn to parent yourself. Okay. Now, as you start to parent yourself, the beauty of it is other people that have that discipline and are preparing their weeks, you're going to start to gravitate towards those people. They're going to start to pop up. You know, I've noticed the more diligent I've gotten with certain things, certain people have actually come into my sphere of influence. I'm not even kidding you. In the last couple of weeks, I've met someone that I was chatting with about revamping my image, an image consultant. I always have a PR person in my back pocket. It's just whether or not I want to pay him yet. But we always have a PR person on deck, right? I met somebody that obviously, like, brought me into the mentorship program. And it's because when you start to do these things, you emit a different kind of energy. So go-getters and people that are on their mission can sense you because you're on a higher frequency. So there's that. Thank you, Stephen. I want to go ahead and keep moving on because I could talk about your comment forever. All right, still rocks. I like that I'm guilty of just listing stuff on my calendar, but I still procrastinate on doing it. I relate. Maybe if I put a time to it, it will allow me to get it done earlier in the day. Yeah, you have to. If you do the time though, you got to keep yourself accountable. Like today, I had my list of 10 things. I only got about 5 or 6 things done on it. It's really because I know the other stuff I can get done another day, meaning Monday. But the things that are on the list that did not get done, they're not causing me any kind of Sunday scary anxiety. That's not what's happening. It's more like, okay, those things didn't get done. I know I'm capable of getting those things done and we'll work on it. We'll get it done. We'll get it done tomorrow, you know? And that's part of taking away the anxiety too, is recognizing that even if you didn't do it, unless you're going to get thrown out of your house tomorrow or something, some things can wait, but you can't always take that approach. So you got to know the difference. I can't help you with that part. I can help you make the list, right? Because again, I guess, mycreditcall.com, people think it's just about credit. It's not just about that. You're getting access to my brain, you're getting access to my mind. You're getting my undivided attention to ask me the things that you need to ask, right? If it's should I go get this job, or can you connect me? Some of you ask me, can I connect you with someone that can get you a better career, advancement in your career? Yes, I know somebody like that. I will connect you to that person, right? Most of our calls are discovery calls to find out where you're lacking, what areas we need to strengthen. It's not just about money. Some of you that have called me and scheduled calls really just need somebody to chat with. That's okay. Like Still Rocks, do you know how many people I've talked to during our consultations at mycreditcall.com? They literally will be like, they'll be telling me there's one issue, right? They'll say, "Oh, I'm not really sure like why I don't have money at the end of the month. I make this much money. I should have this much saved, yada, yada, yada." And then I'll ask them just, I don't know, background questions or whatever, like, "Hey, are you educated? What's your current career path? Da, 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 da." Ask them all kind of questions. And somewhere in there, I'll find out that they have like 4 to 5 hours per day that they're just vegging out. I usually find that out when I look at your bank statements when we go over everything together, because I could tell if if your priorities are mixed up by your bank statement. And if I see, a bunch of gaming, Xbox charges and, Google Play and all that on your bank statement, then I know, oh, I bet you probably zone out a lot. And the time that you're zoning out could be time that you're brainstorming, time that you're sitting with your significant other and, parsing out what we're going to do with the rest of our life. building, writing down your goals and then creating a plan going backwards. I know that by looking at your bank statement. You guys don't believe me. I'm like the finance whisperer. I really am. Actually, I should probably coin that term. I'm a finance whisperer. I can tell a lot about you by your bank statement, by your credit report. I will stand by that forever. If somebody's brave enough one day, I want you guys to come on and we'll go over your credit report. Like, I'll go in blindly. No, it would actually share too much of your data, so we can't do that. But um actually, I might give that away one day. I'll do a free consultation for somebody. And I bet without you telling me much, I can figure out at least five. No, not five, that's a lot. I can figure out 3 major life events that you've had that affected your finances just by looking at your credit report. 100%. I have the biggest smile on my face right now because I'm so sure that I can do it. I've done it hundreds of times. I mean, wow. So anyway, Still Rocks is guilty of procrastination. Listen, I venture to say like probably 70% of Americans struggle with that. The procrastination, though, has to do with perfectionism as well and overthinking sometimes, or having that feeling that you just don't want to do it because you literally want all of your time to yourself, and then you procrastinate, so you wait to the last second, and then that last second is the only thing that you're willing to dedicate to that task that you have to do. There's something more there too, but we'll talk about that another day. So Stephen Chapman says, not only saving time with paying somebody else to do tasks, one could also take advantage of the networking. That's true too. Networking is a big, big, big part of it. And this is why you have to schedule your week. And that's why, that's a way to get rid of the Sunday Scaries. Is, again, if your week is planned out, and I think I want to say Cherie over at Black Women Making Money came up with it, Cherie Warwick. You really should be going to at least one networking event per week. I know Erica Williams says that too, especially if you move to a new town, and it's hard. I know fitting in networking is hard, especially because we're in a society that promotes singledom and promotes being solo and lone wolfing it. I think I'm going to do a video this week about lone wolf syndrome and how it's going to really kill any potential success that you will have. You have to network. Put it in your calendar. Everybody has an hour or at least a half hour after work to go to a happy hour event, go to some kind of social networking. Even if it's not work related, do something that is just different. There was a few things that I did here when I first moved to Richmond where I was like, dude, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to go and do it anyway, because if I'm at this meetup group, then I know that there's other people that are struggling with being new in town, and they need to meet people or they need to make business connections. So I did what I do last year that was kind of, I guess the most bizarre thing I did last year was axe throwing. I went and I threw axes. That was fun though. I did axes, I did knives, I threw a ninja star. I don't think I did a sword. I held a sword, but I didn't get to actually throw the sword. I think that's like a safety thing, because had I thrown the sword, I'd be the doofus that would cut my foot off accidentally. That would be me, because they did have real swords there, and I want to say they had I don't think they had a machete. That might be illegal. But there was a lot of sharp objects, and that's not really something that I do. And get this, the axe throwing place also serves beer. Oh, nothing bad could happen there. Right? But it was part of networking, and everybody that I met at that event that night, the one thing I noticed is that everybody there, though they came, they were shy as heck. Nobody said anything. I was like, what the hell? I'm in here with a bunch of wallflowers. We're about to start throwing weapons, and nobody in here has anything to say. Nothing? Okay. So of course, I'm typically the one that has to initiate conversations. And when I see that happening in a group, it's the weirdest thing. But there were a lot of traveling nurses in there, a lot of guys that were traveling salesmen, like software salesmen and stuff. So a lot of jobs where you're solo, you get to talk to people, but as far as the job itself, you are solo. A traveling nurse is solo. You know, she has patients, sure, but she's always by herself. She's got to cut out time to network. And that's what they do. So yeah, I went ahead and did something odd. And that was an odd thing. Something else interesting that I did this week for networking was, or not this week, but this year for networking, is I went to transcribe emancipation documents. As you guys know, I live in Virginia, one of the original 13 colonies, right? And it's a commonwealth. So that was really cool because I live in a very historic part of Richmond, and I'm reminded of our country's history every day that I walk outside my door. It's insane. California is so different. California, we have sun and stars, celebrities, and the beach. Here in Virginia, you get reminded of slavery, all the wars, and the Confederacy. Yeah. That's what you get reminded of in Virginia. That doesn't bother me, but I want to take time to really immerse myself in the history, you know, of this country, and this is a great place to do it. So I did the emancipation transcribing, and I recommend everybody do that. Get into crowdsourcing information. If we don't do it, trust me, the history is going to be lost. Lots of stories here about history getting lost. And it's interesting that the state even admits it, but it happens. What's another thing that I did? And then I'll move on. What else did I do? I've done like wine classes and stuff like that. I don't feel that that's too unique. That's not really unique. I've done plant classes. Um, what else? I feel like there's one more thing I might be. Oh yeah, I went to go volunteer. So I did some volunteer work for networking purposes. And again, these are things that you fit into your list. I'm not just yapping, guys. I'm not going off on a tangent. I'm giving you items to add to your list that will enrich your life and hopefully help you pivot to the next financial um, level that you could get to. Because the thing is, you have to carve time out, write out the things that you know you're going to do that are routine. And then once those routines are put out, you know, written out, you have everything timed, you will then be able to fit in these extra opportunities that I'm talking about. You know, you can go axe throwing and you may meet your next boss. You never know, right? Because very unique people go axe throwing. Okay. Uh also with the volunteering and doing the food bank stuff, this was really good for me because when I went to go, you know, I made some time on a Saturday and I did have to write it down. I actually had to write all this down in my planner. I went and did that for like 3 hours, and it was interesting. There were Mercedes Benzes. There were, you know, people that you could tell drove all the way from the outskirts of the county to come get their food. All walks of life. All walks of life. There were some people I knew, the food that we put in their car was the only food they were going to have until the next time that they saw us that following week. The other cool part about doing the food bank stuff for my single ladies, honey, well, the men too. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you want to meet eligible, really good looking people, go volunteer at a food bank. Oh my God. There are a lot of well, maybe I don't know if it's just a Virginia thing, but there's very good looking people that go to these things. You know how they have those running groups now? That's the new thing. Uh Listen, food banks. Schedule some time to network at a food bank this week. There's got to be at least one hottie in the room, but out here we have a lot because this is sort of a military area too. So, good way to meet some good people because you're there already with a common interest and a common philanthropic spirit. So that could also be someone that can pivot you into something else. Knowing that that is coming up in your week ahead, it does tend to alleviate the Sunday scaries. It does because you have something else to look forward to in the rest of your week. It's not just work, it's not just laundry, right? You have other things to look forward to. It's not just getting wasted on a Friday night. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to do that every now and then, but it's not okay to do it every night. It's not okay. All right. So yeah, do that. Put at least one extracurricular activity in your list this week. That will alleviate your Sunday scaries. And don't be that type of person that schedules something and then cancels. Don't be that person. Oh, like step over that boundary or that hurdle. Excuse me, guys. So many people do that and they think it's so funny. I'm gonna cut out at like 1 hour and 45 minutes. I'm gonna try. But that is a pet peeve of mine. That grinds my gears, man. Don't tell me you're gonna come and do something and then flake out the day of and then post a meme on social media like that's funny. There's nothing funny about being unreliable. It's not funny. And it's so sad that we've made that a joke now. But if you put it in your calendar, do it. This is more about you than anybody else. I disappoint people all you want, but you have to live with yourself and be the person that did that. So anyway, guys, I'm sorry. I'm getting off my soapbox. But yes, like Steven said, fit networking into your schedule this week. Okay. Yes, I'm American. Good to know, Mosman, because I was wondering, because I think America's divided on whether or not Sunday is the beginning of the week or if Monday is the beginning of the week. I think the only reason a lot of us think Monday is the beginning of the week, for those of you that are confused, I'm tying this into something Mosman said earlier about Sunday being the beginning of the week. We're divided on that. America's divided on that. But the ones that think that Monday is the beginning of the week are the people that are dreading Monday because of work. They literally the first day of the week that they go to work and give their time to somebody else is the symbol of the beginning of the week for them. Isn't that crazy? When you think about it, that's the only reason people think Monday is the beginning. Because you have to go to school, you have to go to work. You mean to tell me you giving your time to another person for pennies on the dollar, selling your time to your employer for pennies on the dollar is the beginning of your week? That's how strong you want to start? No, 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 no. You start strong by just making them a part of your list. That's just going through the motions. That doesn't mean that starts your week. That's just something that you have to do. These other things we're talking about is what your week is really about. The other things that you fit into your schedule when you wrote down the list and prioritized everything from top to bottom. Those are the things that really matter. You can do your job with your eyes closed. Don't make that the reason that Monday is the start of your week. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. I ask my students, who do you choose to be today? Oh, that's a great question. Golly, golly, golly. That's a great question. When I was in high school, my favorite class by far was psychology. I didn't even get to study psychology until I think my junior or senior year of high school. I think it was junior year. Yeah, junior year. And that teacher was really cool. He told us a lot of interesting stuff. And he had very adult advice for us at a very young age. And there's one thing that he actually said to me that stuck with me. And I wonder if anybody in the chat or that's watching this right now can relate to this. It has to do with the Sunday Scaries. And how this psychology teacher actually prepared me for that, which is insane now that I'm looking back. I remember once he sat me down in class and he said, oh, because I had a job at the time. I was 17 and I had a job. And I said, yeah, uh, sometimes my mom doesn't want to buy me stuff. So that's why I have a job. And I don't really like being home a lot. So that's why I go to work right after school. Because at the time I used to take the bus right after school across town to like the Fox Hills Mall. All my California people know what the Fox Hills Mall was. I used to go to Fox Hills every day after school. And that is where I got to be a whole different person. I got to pretend to be a grown up for a few hours till my mom had to come pick me up from work, but but I got to be an adult. But I remember he told me, he said, it's so nice that you're working. And but I just want you to know that you'll be doing that the rest of your life if you really think that that's all there is. And I didn't understand what he meant at the time, but he goes, the kids that start working as teenagers, and then they typically opt to keep working right after high school, and then they go to junior college and they work a little bit and then they drop out, and then they never get their degree, and they end up being workers for the rest of their life. And I never, when he said it sunk in, because I still remember it, so I know it sunk in. I didn't understand it at the time, but it sunk in. And I was like, damn, this dude's right. At a certain age, I look back and I said, damn, he was right, man. And that's why a lot of you have the Sunday Scaries, because you might have been that kid that started working early, went to a JC, and then dropped out. But the only reason you might have dropped out too, personal things happen, I get it. But it could have just been because you didn't have a plan, because you didn't write things down. Because when you start working early in life, it I don't know, like a seed gets planted to where you feel as though you can never be without a job. So the Sunday Scaries get programmed into you very young, at a young age. You know, there's a connection there. I'm going to talk about that on a future live stream. I don't want to bore you guys. I'm sorry. I was brainstorming off of that while I was talking. But yeah, there's something to that. That psychology teacher was onto something, because I started my business pretty late in life. I started it, I was definitely in my 30s when I started it. And it's escaping me right now, but I think it had to be like early-ish 30s that I started it. But I remember that because I'm like, dude, if I had gotten my degree like years before, I probably would have started my business at like 25, looking back. But anyway, there was a lot going on in my life at that time. So that was really interesting. But Mosman, I'm sure you're not here anymore, but I'd like to know what you teach. If you're teaching high school, college, what have you. I'd really be interested to know. But who do you want to be? Like, who do you choose to be? Every day of my life, from like Monday to Friday, for the first half of the day, I chose to be a student. I chose to be a person that, just went and did work. That's what I chose to be. I chose to hang out with my friends. Then at some point, I chose to be a responsible young adult and go to work after school. So I chose to be, I guess, a contributing member to society, because I then put myself into the banking system, right? Because if I'm a kid with a job, I'm now introduced to finance because I get a paycheck every week. I remember my first paycheck. It was only $147. But I remember when that happened, I smiled so wide. And I walked my happy ASS right across the street to the credit union, and I cashed that $147 check. I was no longer just a high school student at that point. I was on my way and I was making my own money. It was great, man. So I chose to be, okay, it sounds yucky now. I chose to be an employee. But as a teenager, God, it felt good. But who do you choose to be today? That's such a good question. That's a good one, Osman. That's good. All right, let's go to the next one. I'm gonna give you guys number 5. Yeah, I'll give you number 5 after I read Mosman's comment here. All right, so not boring at all. I encourage my students to become whole people outside of just being students. Oh my God, Mosman. Oh, I so wish you could come up here and talk with me. You know what's so funny? Now that I'm sitting here after midnight, now it's Monday for me, you guys. It's almost 1 a.m. here in Virginia. I remember as a youth, as a teenager, I had a friend, and we were okay. Let me tell the truth. I didn't go to college right after high school. I went to college during high school. I don't talk about that a lot because it's neither here nor there. But I went to college my freshman year of high school. And I only went because I wanted to get done with high school faster. Because it was an elective, it was dual credit, I went to a school of choice in LA, and it was cool. I'm gonna be real. It was fun. But I went to college during high school. When high school ended, I actually got relocated. My mom moved us, and that was pretty traumatic for me. That's another story. But because of where we moved, I didn't have a car. I didn't have my job anymore because we had to move really far away. And we basically moved to the high desert. And I remember being so devastated because my teenage mind didn't understand what was happening. So I decided not to go to school because I had to go to work. The reason I went to work is because I wanted to get out of my mother's house. That is as far as I'm going to go with that, because this is not that kind of conversation. But that's what I did. And it did help me do what Mosman's talking about. It helped me actually become more of a whole, complete person outside of school. So while I'm working and trying to get out of my mother's house, I got a job at the post office. I did all kinds of stuff, guys. I was a responsible adult, I remember having a friend that went to college right after high school. She would always say to me, I don't know what I'm going to do after school is over, because being a student is all I know. I remember thinking, gosh, that's tragedy. I'd much rather be working and trying to figure out what I want to be just in life in general than really be scared after college and being a career student. She literally said that. I had never heard the term career student before. She said, but she told me that she was a career student. She said, I don't know what I'm going to do. She said, I'm not going to be able to use this degree anywhere. I can't use my degree. I don't know what I'm going to do. And she had a basic retail job at that time. So she really didn't know where she was going to apply her skills. So what Mosman is saying is real. And God bless you being a teacher right now, because these kids are hard to get through to. I thought about becoming a teacher very recently, but I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience for it. I substitute all grades. Now, listen, Mosman, that could mean anything. You mean kindergarten all the way up to senior year? Or, what's I'm sure there's a time frame, no? But, and if you can successfully teach all grades, whatever grades those are, that's unique in and of itself. So salute to that, because the brain doesn't work the same, from a 5-year-old to an 18-year-old. My goodness. Talk about pivoting. You got to pivot every day to talk to different people, different age groups. I'm planning to teach media production. Hey, that's great. No way, dude. Okay, Mosman, you got to be messing with me. I see your new comment. I'm going to put it up in a second. I'm planning to teach media production. I will tell you that The one thing I loved about junior high was that that was the first intro that I got to media production. I liked that class a lot. I remember waking up so stoked in the 7th grade to get up and go film stuff. Because back then we had those big camcorders that you put on your shoulder. They only use that in like TV now, but we had those. And, we had like video projects and stuff where we put together our little feature presentations and stuff like that. That was really cool. Oddly enough, yeah, I think, well, no, I'm not going to say it, but yeah, that was the first time. Junior high was really where I started to get my stride and realized that I was a more creative person that just happened to be smart too. But I wanted to dive more into my creativity in junior high. So media production, I think, is great, especially now with technology. So I hope that your students are receptive to that, and that whatever school district you work for is receptive to any ideas that you have as well. Because I could see a lot of great potential there with the young people. And you say here that you teach elementary to seniors. That's insane. But I guess it's the same as me doing consultations for people from like 21 all the way up to like 65. Like I talk to every age group. The common thread that I find with everybody in every age group is that none of them thought they were going to be where they are by the time I talked to them on the consultation. That's the most interesting part. Everybody had a plan, and everybody's confused about how the plan got so off track. And I can guarantee you, if you guys were to meet Mosman, I believe you're being honest about what you do for a living. I bet it's so interesting for you to see little kids that have so much promise and think that they're going to do so many things. Then see the seniors who used to be those kids, the seniors in high school, they're totally different people. Who they were as little kids, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, they're so different by the time they're seniors. And you, my friend, are the bridge, like between who they started out to who they become before we get them in the real world. It's insane, man. It's crazy. The key to my success is knowing that I'm here to help students find peace, confidence, and positive self-identity. That's good. That's good. I'm going to ask you what subject you teach. I'm going to give you that question right now. What subject do you teach? I want to chat with you about that. But before I go, before we get to that, I'm going to put number 5 because I realized I just got sidetracked. So number 5, how to get rid of the Sunday Scaries, y'all. Let me see. And it's so crazy because I got to be up in a couple hours to get on and talk about how to get through your Monday. Y'all going to be listening to me during your commute. I appreciate you. I wrote this out so tacky. I don't even know if this is going to make sense. Hold on, y'all. Create your schedule and check back. And revisit. That's the word we want to use. I'm typing it out, you guys. Revisit your goals through the week and beyond. All right, I'm going to put that up on the screen, see if it makes sense. By the way, guys, I live in a party town. They are still out there bumping. I live next to a hookah bar, and I think like a Cuban / Jamaican spot. I don't know. It's like Caribbean something. They just bumping music. Like nobody's going to sleep out here. Insane. They don't have the Sunday Scaries out there, or maybe they do, because it takes a special person to be out clubbing on a Sunday. It really does take a special person. I used to do it too, so let me not be that person. Okay, so number 5, to the way to avoid Sunday scaries and better prepare yourself for Monday is to recalibrate the schedule that we created and revisit your goals through the week and beyond. That's the only way that you're going to be able to actively get rid of the anxiety that is associated with Sunday. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast slash live stream here, I am no longer afraid of Monday. Monday is exciting. It's like I know that my client base starts their life on Monday or starts, their work life on Monday. So it excites me because I'm like, okay, that is the only reason that Monday is like a regular work day for me is because I align myself with my client. I identify with all my clients, and I actively tap into what it was like to wake up and be stressed out on a Monday. But now I'm excited because I use Mondays to find different ways to tap in with anybody that will work with me. I want to find my next client, find that next person that is ready to start like figuring out what the issues are and how to fix it. But you can only become that person again if you start to take your life seriously. That's the only way to do it. So, okay, what did you say here, Mosman? Let's see. I don't know. Did I read this other one? Yeah, there we go. Grades are irrelevant. I'm glad you said it because if I said it, they wouldn't believe me. That we know to be true. Grades are irrelevant. It's who they become that matters to me. Effort above all else, no specific subject. I'd like to teach sound design for theater and media production. I mean, obviously anything you want to do. It sounds like your school district is probably fairly open-minded or fairly flexible, which is nice. It's very nice. And I do think that students need teachers that actually care. And you know what's insane to me is that now that I'm a mentor with a nonprofit organization here in Richmond, I realize that I have no choice now but to hone my craft of speaking into whomever I'm trying to help. Because just like you guys are tuned in right now, I know some of y'all are just laying in bed, or maybe you just tuned into it, and you're like, okay, who is this girl? Like, what is she even talking about? And as some of my supporters have come in and out of the chat too, they've been rocking with me since forever. But I realized that I still have to show up, not just for the people that have been supporting me, but I have to show up for the people that will now discover me tonight and beyond. I have to show up for them. So I have to care on some level where you guys end up, where you're at right now, you know, and I have to keep showing up regardless of if I want to or not, because the mission and the thing that I want to do is greater than whatever whatever I want to do, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of scary when you find out that you're called to do something. I think credit was just the beginning, and I'm going to keep doing that. But I think this thing is supposed to be bigger, and it's becoming more apparent every day. And I'm pretty sure Mosman can relate to that, being an educator, because I'm an educator too. It's just in a different lane, right? So yeah, on some level, I'm going to reach at least one or two people that tuned in tonight, and I'm okay with that. Because I'm learning how to fine tune my message. And that's what I do with the mentorship stuff too. I'm learning how to speak to, young people that are living a totally different type of teenage experience than I did. That's so like, stressful. But it's teaching me how to discover what truly matters in my life and what truly, like, what life lessons I've had that I need to pass down. And I'm also teaching them, like new life skills, like this whole write down your goals and what you want to do. Like we teach these kids to do that. Tell us who you want to be. And I realize now that my message has to be so succinct and so well oiled and just polished, because sometimes, I'm going to have to get through to these people and my clients too. I have to get through to whoever crosses my path. I have to get through to them just like that psychology teacher in high school did for me. He said something, I didn't quite get it at the time, but it still stuck. I need to be able to do that, to where I could say something and you might not get it today, but it's going to stick. That's interesting, y'all. That's tough. That's tough, man. It's tough, but it's something that I'm excited about. And that's why I don't have the Sunday Scaries tonight. I don't have the Sunday Scaries anymore because you have no idea how much I believe in what I'm doing right now. So much faith. Okay. I'm one of the few Black men. He puts quotations. Are you mixed? Why you put the quotations? He says, I'm one of the few Black men, so I'm being aware of my power within there. Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. And you just gave me inspiration about something else. And it's knowing that it's okay to stand out, because I struggle with that a lot in my life. Being the only Black person or being one of the few Black people and speaking intelligently, I can see the surprise on people's faces, when I don't behave a certain way that they expect. I see it. I get that all the time in the finance world. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I just told you guys, somebody made fun of me the other day because I was trying to type something out and they happened to be looking at me. And I kind of was like, my fingers were my fingers were stuttering on the keyboard. And I swear this person took the opportunity to clown me right away. And I was like, wow, it never ends, man. It's like high school. Like, who cares that the girl has a business and all this other stuff? She made that one typing mistake, so I'm going to clown the crap out of her. Like, that's the kind of craziness you're going to deal with in the world. That's why you got to have your your life plan written out, because people will literally try to like mess with you and tear you down mentally for the stupidest stuff. And I just looked at this girl. I was like, girl, if you don't get out of my face, oh my God. Let me type this word. Get out of my face. Book your consultation because I know you got bad credit. Get out of my face. I'm sure she said it in jest, but her tone was horrible. But yeah, being one of the few of what you are, people have assumptions about you, Mosman, and I pick up on that every day. Every day. That's not my fault that they have the stereotype in their brain. So I don't take it personally, but I agree with you. It's like you have to kind of, you have the power and you just have to learn how to actually harness it. You know what I mean? Like you have to actually harness the power that you have. It's kind of weird, isn't it? It is kind of strange. That's something to think about. I told my supervisor that it's okay to fire me if administration tells her to do so. I care more about their self-actualization than how they want me to treat the kids. Well, yeah, because the school system is a machine. And that, I don't know, maybe you and I have a difference of opinion on it, possibly, but I believe that school is really just training children to be workers. It's only when they get a teacher that comes in with a personality and a heart for teaching, not a heart for regurgitation. A lot of teachers just have a heart for regurgitation. Like, I need butts in my seats. I need attendance to be perfect because of course, the more butts in the seats, the more money the district gets and the longer the school can stay open, meaning the longer I can have a job, right? But there's always those couple of teachers. They are really down for the students. If every teacher could be like that, oh my God, that would be so cool. And the fact that you care about their self actualization, hell, that would give me the Sunday Scaries because, knowing that you on some level are responsible for instilling this little seed inside these kids. And let me scratch that. You're not really planting the seed. The seed is already there, but you're giving it the specific nutrients and food and water that the seed needs to grow into that self-actualization that you're talking about. If that makes sense. They already have their potential, it's already there. Like the thing that they're supposed to really be is already in there. It's just that they have to get the correct nurturing to grow correctly. Right? Like if you put a watermelon seed in sand and give it water, it's not going to freaking grow. It's just not, you know. But if you put it in the right soil, in the right environment, it's going to grow. It's going to grow, man. Regardless of if it goes home and, the kid goes home and their family's abusive. Well, that's okay. It's not okay, but you know what I mean? It's like it'll happen, but as long as they get reinforcement from some outside source every day, it'll still be instilled in them that they are important. If they can get out of that environment, they have like, there's something on the other side of it. So I think teachers are so important in that way. And this is really why I was debating on becoming one. I just don't know if I have the patience for it with the school work. Like that's gonna, if I could just get a certificate and become a teacher, that'd be great. But we know that's not the real world. Black is not a country, nor is it a race, but that's too deep for some. Technically, I'm Vincentian. Yeah, I was gonna say, what is Vincentian? I'm not laughing. I'm just like, look, Vincentian, Saint Vincent, and they're Grenadines. Okay, so is that where Amber Rose is from? Like, I don't know. I don't know where that girl's from. Okay, I got you though. But honestly speaking, I don't want to say but people tend to lump us all into a category. And we're not the same. And I had to show some associates that the other day when someone was trying to get really, really goofy with me. And it's too late for this. I'm not going to talk about it, but some American friends that I have got a firsthand look at the difference between a Black American and an American from Africa. And they got to witness some of the angst and some of the tension between the two groups. Because if you look at us, everybody thinks we're the same, but we're not. And I think that it shocked these people to see the difference. I'll just say that. We'll talk about it another day. But it exists. So makes total sense. We think similarly. But yeah, like I don't know that I'm meant to teach in a school system, like a structured educational system. But I know for sure that I do love teaching. I love that moment where a person goes from not knowing to knowing. There's a little bit of a spark you can see happen in their eyes. I live for that. I really do. Because I know how powerful it is when it happens to me. That, it's the best feeling ever. And again, you have a special gift if you can teach all grades, honestly, Mosman, and get through to all different ages of people. That's a gift. And God forbid, but if at some point the administration that you work with right now lets you go, whatever, that's cool. Just obviously it's going to be a sign that you need to move into something else and something greater than wherever you were before. But clearly you're a teacher and you are that is your calling in life. Maybe, I don't know you, but I know that is my calling. I am meant to be a teacher or an instructor of some sort. I've only just recently accepted that. And that is why the message on my channel is actually starting to change. And some people will come with me and some won't. That's okay. We'll still have credit videos and I'll drop, oh, get this credit card and da 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 da. Da. Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll do that. But what you gonna do once you get the credit card, y'all? That's the question. That's the real question. What are you gonna do after? What's the point of just having a $50,000 credit card just sitting there? Because if you don't use it, the bank is gonna take it back. So what are we gonna do with it? It's about more than that. It's about what is it that you wanted to do when you were a kid, or like, that's the real you. And that's what we're trying to get at. Yeah, I be going into the weeds, man. I got to stop doing that crap. But I don't know. I'm probably cursed with caring too much. That's what a lot of my friends tell me, both on and offline. Even in business, they tell me I care too much about certain things. And I don't know. So I wrote down a lot of stuff for myself this week to get rid of my Sunday Scaries, which aren't really Sunday Scaries. They're like Sunday, I don't know, Sunday sparkles, And I think about all the tasks that I have to do. And even though some of them are super overwhelming, I literally use the 5 things that I talked about tonight to bring it all into perspective. I had a good Sunday. Just accomplishing little tasks and getting my hands in dirt today, working with my plants and my soils and mixing things. And it was just, it was a good day. I could hear the laundry, the washing machine in the background. I'm watching, what's his name? Ken Coleman today, because I'm studying Ken Coleman. That guy's good. Very good. And if in a perfect world, I would have been in broadcasting. I would have totally been on the radio. And I'm still thinking about it. But to hear his story is so inspiring. And that's why I came on the live stream tonight. Because the only way to get better is to keep coming on and doing stuff. And if I can hold the attention of like 1 or 2 people, guaranteed, guys, I know I'm on to something. I have 1,100. I think I have 1,100. Yeah, no. Sorry, I keep saying 1,100. 11,200 subscribers now. Right? Somebody is liking it. 11,200 people have spoken. Come on, man. If I had that many votes in like a local election, come on, guys. I'd be on somebody's radar. So I know it means something. Okay. So I'm going to cut out. Oh, y'all, I lied. I said I was going to be out of here in 1 hour and 45. All right. At 2 hours and 20 minutes, I'm gone. Okay, Mosman, thank you so much for contributing to the conversation too. I so appreciate you. I don't care that they failed. I care that they tried. It's the belief in themselves that matters. I agree. I am meant to teach. Yeah. And I wonder, Mosman, if you feel this too, where it's well, for me, I just recently realized that this is my calling. I've just realized it. So I'm still still getting used to it. Because even though like I've been doing the YouTube stuff and speaking or like teaching people in one way or another for the last like 4 or 5 years, even longer than that, actually, in my corporate career, I was a trainer the entire time. So I guess I've been at it, God, for over a decade now. Sheesh. At least since 10 years, 2014 was when I really started and, was given my wings, so to speak, to try this thing. And only now, 10 years later, have I accepted it is my calling. And everything in my life that didn't work out from before has led me up to right now. And it is a interesting feeling. That's why I've been interjecting these more what do you say? Like I don't know. I'm just focused on the person more than just the money aspect. You have to make money. I'm not telling you something you don't know, but I'm also telling you that you have to know yourself. So there's a lot to learn there, and I'm still learning myself. So as I learn these lessons, I'm bringing them to you guys too, right? And it just it's tied into everything. So yeah, you're meant to teach, and that I am too. I am too. All right. So you say if I failed, if I failed every student who didn't try, I'd be looked at with a watchful eye. So I'd just rather wait until I'm sure I want to be a full teacher or possibly a counselor. I will say, I guess it depends on what school district you're in. My school counselor was crap. I'm not even gonna say her name, man, because I just know somebody. Well, somebody from high school is probably like watching me in the shadows and stuff, and they'll go tell her because now high schoolers keep in touch with their teachers and their faculty and stuff. Um, but yeah, she was a waste, man. Yeah, she was a waste because I there was something really really dumb she did one time. I told her I wanted to take a certain class because I wanted to get done with high school earlier than I did. I got done with high school pretty early, but I wanted to get done even earlier. And I said I wanted to take a certain class, and she said, "Oh no, you shouldn't do that. That just doesn't fit you. I don't think you should do that." And I'm looking at her like, I don't know you. And you don't know me. Like, how are you going to tell me I shouldn't take this class? So looking back, I'm like, oh, that was a business thing. She had to probably put more bodies in a certain class. So she tried to discourage me from certain things. Whatever, man. She was dumb. So if you're going to be a counselor, Mosman, please be a good one. Be one that actually knows the kids, not just going through the motions. That was a bummer. But nevertheless, I still got done early. That was the name of the game for me. It was just to get out. That was really all I wanted to do. School was just a place I went to go hang out for the most part. Okay, so you say your school only has female counselors. Yep, mine was a female. Just because I'm not an official counselor doesn't mean I can help students who actually want to create their own. Yeah, honestly speaking, you could just do that from your classroom. Some of my best teachers that I remember my first grade teacher. I remember my fifth grade teacher. I remember my sixth grade teacher. She was mean as, oh God, man. That lady was so mean, but she was cool. Now looking back, she was real little, like real short. So she had to be like hard, like she had to be like tough because she was tiny. She had to be like 4'11". Most of us were taller than her, so she had to really crack that whip, so to speak. But I remember her. Then like I said, I actually remember my drama teacher too. Quite a few, actually. We had a lot of cool teachers in high school because that was when they started running out of teachers in LA and the surrounding school districts. I wasn't in LAUSD. I wasn't at that school district, but I was in one that's called the hell, what is it called? I forget. Anyway, it was a long time ago. But it wasn't LA County because I went to school like in the beach cities. We call them the beach cities in LA. But all our teachers were like 30. They were young. So we really related to them. Like, because once I hit 30, I was like, oh, dude, I still feel 18. This is weird. So now I could see like why they were so cool. Because at that age, at 30, teaching 18-year-olds, I mean, dude, But all the teachers that really stood out to me, they were all significantly older than me. So and they were very caring. That was really nice. Some of the teachers didn't, they didn't care. But that's public school for you. but some really do invest their themselves, and they care about where the students go. And I appreciate that. And Mosman, you do sound like one of those. You sound like one of the good ones. So I hope you keep your head above everything, and really do some good stuff. Okay. I get inspired by young people who achieve because they trust their own thoughts. I'm 28. Oh wow, I would have thought you were even older. But yeah, you're about the age that my high school teachers were. Looking back, I thought they were so damn old. But now I'm like, oh man, to be 28 again, that'd be fantastic. That was a long time ago. I don't even remember being 28, if we're being honest, because to alleviate my Sunday scaries, I used to go clubbing. So I don't remember much. But yeah, like nah, for real, most men, I hope you keep up the good work with what you're doing. If you're 28, you got a long career ahead of you, and I hope you become tenured and really get to touch the lives of these kids and create different programs and things. That'd be really cool to see wherever it is that you are in, whatever state, whatever city, whatever school district. you know Forget the Sunday scaries. I'm pretty sure you don't even have to deal with that, because I think school is out right now, isn't it? But yeah, guys, we'll do a little recap real quick with the 5 ways to prepare for your Monday. Get rid of these Sunday scaries and get on it, because you are your priority, not your job. Okay. So number 1 was take inventory of what needs to be done. Make a list. If it's family, work stuff, personal stuff, health appointments, mental health appointments, crucial conversations you need to have, stop putting it off. Write it down in a list. Don't forget, I had to write down shave your legs. That's how bad it got, okay? Write it down. I don't care if you got to remind yourself to floss your teeth. Write it down. Who gonna check you? Who is going to check you and tell you that you're wrong for writing down the things you need to do? Come on, man. So write it down. And then number 2 is prioritize. Whatever makes the biggest impact has to be first. Now, it doesn't have to be first in the sense that cram all the important stuff on Monday. That's why you have stress right now. No, don't do that. But if you have 3 important things to do, schedule 1 important thing for Monday, 1 for Wednesday, 1 for Thursday, because you ain't going to do nothing on Friday. We already know your brain turns off on Friday. But space them out. But get the important things done. It could be first thing on each of those days, not all the things on the first day of the week, if that makes sense. Number 3, third way to get rid of the Sunday scaries. Schedule out the time for all of the tasks. Okay? How much of your time is going to be needed for each one of these things? If you know you have to call your best friend back home, and you know she talks, because y'all know I'm a talker, ask my friends. They be trying to cut me off when I talk on the phone, but I just keep going. If that friend talks for an hour, you have to have on your list, you can only give them 30 minutes and stick to it. This weekend, actually, yesterday, I told you guys, Saturday, people wanted to talk to me. But when I got home after being in the hot sun, I wanted to take a shower and go to bed. I don't even think I ate dinner last night. I was that tired because the sun makes me tired. I was tired. I said no, because I already had that me time prioritized for yesterday. It was like, no, this is my day. I'm going out. I'm tired now. No, we'll talk next week. Don't call me, I'll call you, kind of thing, right? Doesn't mean I love the people any less, but schedule your time and figure out how much time is needed. If it takes, I don't know, what's something, I don't know. Just fit things in. Fit them in. Y'all know how to do it, okay? Number 4, delegate if necessary, whether that's cooking, cleaning. Maybe if your mom or somebody lives close by, have her, he or she, your grandmother or grandfather, have them pick the kids up from school. You know, if you're in a situation where, maybe you and your kids other parent, you're not together, maybe you guys can work something out where, I don't know, they could take the kids for a couple of days out of the week or a couple hours, for you to delegate some of the, for you to get in some of your activities and things that you need to do to make your life easier this week coming up. You know, delegate. I am debating on hiring a lady to come and clean my bathroom because I don't like cleaning the bathroom. Every time I do it, I realize, oh, this is really simple because I live alone. Like, come on, guys, how bad can one person really mess up a bathroom? But I have 2 bathrooms and a kitchen. I don't like cleaning my 2 bathrooms. I shower in whichever one I feel like per day. Like if I wake up, I'm like, oh, I want to go into that one today. Oh, I want to go into the other one today. You know, but that's still 2 bathrooms that I have to clean as a single person. I don't want to do it anymore. So I think I'm going to hire somebody. And that's going to give me more time while she's in there, or he or she or whoever is in there scrub-a-dub-dubbing away. I'll be in here typing away, coming up with new, thoughts and ideas because my mind needs that. I don't benefit. There's no benefit for me to get on my hands and knees and scrub a bathtub. That does nothing for me. I am not one that enjoys cleaning. It doesn't do anything for me. Now I like the results, but the act itself, no thank you. No thank you. Don't do nothing. I would rather pay somebody to free up so that $50, $60 I pay them, $100. What if during that time I'm able to create a product that I can get $10,000 from? You mean to tell me that I'm not going to spend that $100 investment? I'm not going to make that $100 investment to have this lady clean my bathroom so I have more mental bandwidth to create something else that's going to give me a bigger return. And I'm still supporting small business because I'm paying an independent contractor to come clean my bathroom, So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And with the food, stop using cooking as an excuse. I talked to 2 people this week that used the fact that they have to cook as an excuse to not do other stuff that they needed to do. And then I thought to myself, no, you need to go ahead and get a meal prep service, or you need to get up and not bed rot. If you were here at the beginning of the presentation, you know what I'm talking about. Don't bed rot. Get up out of bed on Sunday, meal prep for the week. Problem solved, right? So let's get for real, y'all. Let's help ourselves. And number five way to get rid of the Sunday scaries and go into Monday feeling happy, feeling refreshed. Recalibrate your schedule as needed. Maybe the hard conversations are not supposed to be scheduled on a Monday. Maybe you're more even keel on a Wednesday. So schedule your difficult conversations or your phone calls on Wednesdays instead of Mondays. Monday's frustrating by nature. So recalibrate your schedule, change things around that as you go. This is about finding your flow because not everything's going to work. Okay. So recalibrate and check back with your schedule and with your goals on a weekly basis. That's what you have to do. Okay. Those are the 5 steps. Get rid of the Sunday scaries. Monday is not a big bad wolf. Monday is the first day of the rest of your life. We're already there on the East Coast. West Coast, not so much, but we're there here on the East Coast. And I actually just realized I left something that I have to go address right now. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, I'm back. All right, anyway, guys, I'm gonna read this last one, then I'm gonna get on out of here. All right, I have to figure how long I want to be in education. I have a lot of personal life I want to live between now and the rest of my life. Very true, and you'll figure it out. Listen, what I was doing at 28 isn't anywhere close to what I'm doing now. So I get it. I feel you. And I support anybody that knows when to stop and knows like what direction they want to go. Even if you don't know your exact destination, you at least know the next turn that you want to take. And I think that's all right. Teaching is probably just part of your journey. And when that door closes, if it does, that's great. I have friends that decided to go into education at this age. I literally have a friend that called me or texted me, I think Wednesday or Thursday of last week, and said that she has become a professor. So I believe she's an adjunct professor now. But I mean, I would have never thought she'd be a professor. Like if y'all knew us when we were younger, oh my God, when we used to cut up as teenagers, I would have never thought this girl would be anybody's professor. Okay. I love my friend, but girl. And when she said that, I was like, now look at God. That's amazing. So, but that's the thing she wants to do now. And I'm happy for her. And it's like that's what it is, You go from whatever you're doing now to the next thing. Like I said, I'll always be the credit solutionist for sure. But I'm trying to go bigger and better because this is my destiny. My destiny is to touch lives and eventually be on somebody's stage or somebody's TV. It is what it is. I've spoken it already. It's going to happen. And like, I think Stephen Chapman said earlier, if I'm getting the name right with one of the viewers here, I mean, it's about networking. Just get on out there. So yeah, guys, whatever you're trying to do this week, it can be done unless you're trying to fly to the moon. Anything else is pretty much possible. So I want you guys to go ahead and look at the 5 ways that we talked about tonight, because it's not just for Sunday. It's for every day of your life. Okay, guys? So please take it to heart. Y'all already know I be talking all the time, talking loud, just long, okay? Long and whatever, but I'm getting tired now, so I got to go. I'm going to go lay in my wonderful, tranquil bed, and I'm going to have a good rest of my night. And I hope you guys do too. And I'll see you tomorrow because I want to give you an inspirational word going into your Monday. And we're going to talk about the interesting, dynamic that Monday has. It's the most hated day, but it's also the most productive day of the week. How's that for a day? What did Monday ever do to you? Well, we're going to talk about it. So don't forget to join the Facebook group, you guys. It's the Credit Pro Academy. I'm going to show it here on the screen if I can. Let me see here. How do I do this now? Which one is it? Right here. Credit Pro Academy, guys. So be sure to go on over. And if you have any credit questions or if you know anybody that's struggling with their credit needs, send them over to that page. And it's Credit Pro Academy #1 on Facebook.com. Answer a couple questions and get on in to get direct access to yours truly. I do not charge for this group at this time. I don't know that I ever will, but that's it. That's there for you. If you want to book a consultation, let me show you the website real quick before we get out of here. All right, so it's mycreditcall.com. Let me see if I can show you on this this here page. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, I see what I did. Y'all, my tech skills go out the window straight up this time of night. Okay, so that is mycreditcall.com. Okay, you go on right there, mycreditcall.com. You schedule your call. Okay, and you can do the credit consultation, debt consultation, and then I put up a 15-minute discovery call. This one, you guys really do have to be on your stuff. If you're going to do a 15-minute call with me, you have to get to the point. So this is really for people that know what their question is and how to move based on the answer that I give. It is not for somebody that's trying to figure out what they want to do. This is just for that quick, like you just need, hey, should I move this way? Should I go left or right? Tell me. Now, the other two, the credit and the debt consultations, those are a little different. Those are a little more involved. Okay, that's where we get into the weeds and the paperwork. And we really start to see what it is that has you stuck financially. And we build a plan to help you out. And you get a copy of the video consultation that we have. That is obviously yours to keep. It's a private video. We don't share it publicly at all. Okay. So that's something you can do. I'm going to add an extra link for those of you that have business ideas or just life stuff that you need, some guidance on, but it has to be somewhere related to finances. If it's a financial block, a mental block that you're having with your finances, if I can help you, I will. And then if I can connect you with somebody that I know, whether that's a therapist, even a hypnotherapist, I know a little bit of everybody that can help you with these things, right? So those are the things that you get. Like I said, it's more than credit on this side of the internet. So get used to it, guys. I'm all over the place. I love I love helping people and connecting the dots because everything's connected. Okay. That's really it, guys. I want you to go ahead and share this video. It was long. It was kind of slow. It was mellow, but share it with somebody that you think could benefit, or share the channel with somebody that you think could benefit. The more, the merrier. 11,200 people say that what I have to say is important. So much so that they clicked that subscribe button. And I want you to go ahead and do that if you found any of this content helpful, or even if you just like, I don't know, the sound of my voice, whatever, it's cool. I don't care. I'm just happy that you're here and I want to help you. All right. So thank you for coming through. Thank you, Mosman, for all the engagement. I really appreciate you. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for you. So I'll see you in a few hours for the Monday mashup. And hopefully I'll be able to motivate some of you guys to pursue your dreams. Credit Pro Academy, don't forget to come over to the Solutionist University as well to get the small business blueprint from daydream to dollars in 30 days. I am done and I'm going to go to sleep. I will see you guys on the next video. Credit Solutionist